the all or nothing mentality. That will hold you back more than anything else. And believe me when I say that, in terms of experience, in terms of hardship, the months and years where I had this all or nothing mindset. Now, there's one key thing that I have to differentiate here. You may have heard of the term bright light, dim light. Don't be a dim light, but be a bright light. What that essentially means is that if you do something, you do it properly, right? How you do one thing is how you do everything. It's a very famous term, and that is absolutely true, and that is something that you should be holding and implementing into your life. So don't be a dim light in a sense of you do half a job. No, either do something and give your 110% effort, or don't even bother in the first place. What I'm referring to when I say the all or nothing mindset is something that held me back for so long, and I'm sure it's something that is going to resonate with you guys massively. We can use NoFap as an example. But let's say you have this regimented structure, this regimented routine. Let's say, for example, you're sick and tired of your current situation, the current predicament that you live in. You feel like a bum, you feel like a loser. And so you set out a routine. These are my goals that I want to achieve. This is the routine. I'm going to get up at 5. I'm going to meditate. You've heard the billionaire's routine, right? Get up at 5, hit the gym, meditate, drink X amount of litres per day of water. You know what I mean? There's to-do tasks and to-do lists that you have set out per day. And let's say for 3-4 days you go on this phenomenal streak. And let's say on day 11, you forget to meditate. With the all or nothing mindset, you feel as though everything has to be perfect. You have this perfectionist mentality. And so when you forget to meditate on day 11, you throw the entire thing in the garbage. You forget even going to the gym. You throw the routine away completely. You dissolve it. And then you go back to your old habits. You go back to the bum that you were. And that is going to hold you back more than anything, because that's an excuse to procrastinate. It gives you the license to go back to your old lifestyle, the one that kept you in that state of misery and despair. What I want you to do instead of holding that all or nothing mentality is, let's say you have a regimented structure. There's no issue with having the routine. The problem is you're going to slip up in terms of life is going to get in the way. You're going to have priorities. There's going to be emergencies. You might just forget. These things happen. You're human. And what the worst thing to do is go, I've ruined everything. What's even the point of this? And chuck it all away. Instead, what you should do is, okay, I forgot to meditate today on day 11, but I'm still going to finish off the routine, and I can either meditate later or we can do it tomorrow. By doing this, you build consistency. By doing this, you still maintain that discipline that you initially had. The problem with the all or nothing mentality is it's a continuous cycle of stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. And ultimately you will achieve nothing. You will never achieve your goals because you have this Coolidge effect mentality. And this leads me on perfectly to NoFap. How many times have we started on NoFap, counted days, which I completely argue against because it's going to make you harbour resentment against yourself down the line. You start on day 0, you get to day 37, you relapse, and then you go on a binge. You think, what's the point? I'm back on day 0. You just throw all the hard work away. Every time that you dedicated, every time that you persevered, you've thrown all that away, and then you go on a 4 or 5 binge cycle, and then you're basically at day 0 in terms of the way that your brain's been rewiring, and it's essentially gone back to its old ways. So you've completely decimated your progress. Why? Because you have that all or nothing mentality. And that is what I'm telling you to eradicate. For you to actually progress, for you to move forwards, you have to kill this idea that it's only going to be one way. Everything has to be perfect. No, the whole point is that in the beginning, there is going to be imperfections. You are going to be incompetent. Mistakes are going to be made. You can't become a new person overnight. You're not going to be perfect. You're going to have doubt. You're going to have negative thoughts. You're going to forget certain things because you're transitioning from this guy who is an absolute loser, and then you're transitioning into the best version of yourself. That's never going to happen overnight. So mistakes are going to be made. Don't be so hard on yourself, because the harder you are, the harder you'll fall. You're going to fall down anyway. And it's about picking yourself back up. It's motivating yourself again. It's having the courage, the discipline to continue. But with that all or nothing mentality, it's going to hold you back completely. There's absolutely no point. And it's something that held me back for many years. I can cast my mind back to when I was a teenager in my early 20s. Everything was about, okay, everything has to be perfect. At this time, I'm going to do this. I'm going to complete this task. I'm going to meditate here. I'm going to work here. This is the time I'm going to go to the gym. This is the time I'm going to play tennis, right? No, because that's not how life works. And mistakes are going to happen. You're going to fall down at some point, flat on your face. It's about picking yourself back up, acknowledging the mistake. It doesn't give you a license to throw everything in the bin, in the gutter. Acknowledge the mistake, embrace the pain that comes alongside it, and strive to be better next time, but continuing on the journey. So if you do NoFap as a perfect example, you're on day 11, day 13, you relapse. Don't go on a binge. Stop counting the days. Okay, cool. Change the way that you perceive the reality. Change the way that you perceive the situation. Okay, in 13 days, I've relapsed once. Is that the best way to think is this? You've had 13 days. You've relapsed once. Instead of thinking, oh, I'm back on day 0, change the frame, reframe it, change the perception. Okay, before then, how many times a week or how many times a day was I masturbating? Okay, I was masturbating twice a day. So in 13 days, that would be 26 times. So the 13-day period before this 13-day period, I masturbated 26 times. In this new 13-day period, I masturbated once. That is a substantial improvement. A substantial improvement when you look at it from that perspective. That is the point I'm making here. Change the way you look at things and everything else will change. Part of the reason why you're in the predicament you are is because you've been analysing the same goddamn thing the same way for God knows how many months and years. Again, it's the same thing. It's embracing and holding that all or nothing mindset. It's cancerous. It's a virus. Get rid of it. It's not going to help you progress. It's not going to help you attain or achieve the goals that you need to attain. You make a mistake, who cares? We're human. Get up, brush yourself off, and carry on again. Again, analyze who you were before. Were you better than yesterday? Yes. Fantastic. Keep going. You're on the right track. You're on the right pathway. Why are you going to go back to that? You're giving your paradigm, you're giving your belief system an opportunity, an excuse to go back into your old lifestyle. And how is that old lifestyle doing for you? You're in this position because of the way that you were living, because of the habits that you were participating in on a day-to-day basis. That's why you're in the situation you're in. You have to change. And that only comes about from understanding that mistakes are going to be made. From the beginning, shooting your shot, seeing how far you are away from the target. Reframing, adjusting, okay, I'm this many meters, this many years, this many months away from my goal, from my target. Okay, now let's adjust the plan. Maybe the routine is not working, but you have to give it a go. You're going to slip up. Relapses are going to happen. Mistakes are going to happen. But it's brushing yourself off and going, okay, but I've made significant improvements compared to who I was a month ago. Fantastic. The more that you think like that, the more that you perceive the situation like that, and the more that you carry on, eventually you're going to hit your goals. Eventually you're going to progress into the person that you want to become. It's inevitable. It's an inevitability. It's going to happen. This all or nothing mentality that held me back for many, many years is holding you back, and it's going to hold you back for many, many more years if it's something that you don't address and change right now. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, comment down below your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, and I'll see all of you guys for my next video. Peace.